It's meal prepping day. I have a list of amazing recipes, or so I think so. And then I wrote a couple of down because not all of them are printable, and a lot of them are like really simple ideas. Healthy snacks, dinners, desserts. I think I even have one like really easy high protein breakfast, but it's more of like a shake, if you will. But it's something I've never made before. So the first thing I'm going to throw together, when I first saw it, I was like, pretty sure everyone needs to know about this. It is spicy ranch, high protein dill pickle dip. It's like, it hits all the buzzwords, all the things we want right now. A good summertime snack that's high protein and refreshing and delicious. So let me grab a bowl. It starts out with 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt, and I'm just gonna eyeball everything because that's how I live my life. And then half a cup of cottage cheese, but I just got like a little single serving. I feel like that's close enough to half a cup. The lady who shared this recipe had the cutest Grillo's pickle container. I tried to find it. Couldn't find it anywhere, to no avail. I have this large one from Costco. I won't be using it to serve the dip, but if you find the mini one, you must be one of God's favorites. Oh my gosh. I messed it up, but that's okay. You actually are supposed to dump this into a food processor so it blends really nicely together. The cottage cheese is a little lumpy and clumpy, so this is supposed to help with that. I'm using a food processor. I'm sure a blender would work just as well. I'm gonna use my blender later, so I have a lot of dishes to do. That looks nice and creamy. I'm gonna just pour it right back into the bowl. Cottage cheese has a ton of protein, and the Greek yogurt also has a ton of protein. That's what makes this dip high protein. Whereas generally, if you're making a dip, you use like mayonnaise and sour cream, which gives it a lot of great flavor, but a little less protein. Okay, there's a couple of things that I need to chop, but not much prep work for this. Most of the seasonings are dry. And actually, if you want to, you could use dry dill as well. I just always think fresh is best. So I'm gonna grab a couple tablespoons of dill, and I'm just gonna chop it up. This is just the perfect summertime flavor. It's one of my favorites, so I'm gonna dump this right in the yogurt mixture. And then I'm gonna take a couple of pickles. These are apparently the best pickles, the Grillo's variety. And I'll tell you what, the dill in there is working wonders for my olfactory senses. I'm not sure if you've ever had a Publix dill pickle. Those are widely known to be superior. And actually, if you live in Florida, have you seen the waterfront Publix? It's genius. And I've been seeing around more lately boat floats. So they have like a fruit float that'll visit you at beaches and sell fruit. Genius idea. They also have like a Chick-fil-A boat that will come sell you Chick-fil-A sandwiches while you're at the beach. It's like, why haven't they been doing this forever? It's like Uber, but at the beach, right? Okay, I'm gonna take about half a cup of these and then just throw this into the yogurt mixture. Maybe I should have minced those a little smaller. Yeah, I definitely probably should have done that, but I'll get over it. Yeah, finely chopped. All right, you know what I'm gonna do here? Put this back in my food processor. Go in for round 2 over here. All right, looking good. That looks much better. So to finish this off with some seasoning, I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of the ranch seasoning, a little bit of garlic powder, along with some onion powder, teaspoon of each, half a teaspoon of this, a couple dollops of the hot sauce in here. That's what's gonna make it spicy. If you don't want it spicy, maybe leave it out. Usually I use Frank's, but today I've got that. Also gonna throw in a little bit of salt and pepper, the classics. I'm gonna mix this up before I add a little bit of shredded cheese. And I didn't really think this one through because I don't know where my shredder is. I only need a couple tablespoons of the cheese now, but later I'll need more. See, how do people use this? Mine never sticks. We'll see if that worked. All right, better. Perfect. Wow, really? This is so great. You should totally get this. Oh my gosh, best kitchen gadget ever. Total must have. Good enough. Tossing that in. Mix this together. I'm gonna throw it in the fridge just to let the flavors marinate and become friends for about at least 30 minutes. Then I'm gonna serve it with some veggies later. I'm gonna give it a little taste test. It's really good. It's actually delicious. The hot sauce really coats all of like the healthiness in here. If I didn't know it was high protein, I wouldn't know. And you know, when you taste like a healthy something, you're like, oh, this is good for it being healthy. But this, you wouldn't know. There's so much flavor going on. And I am not someone who likes plain yogurt and cottage cheese, okay? Not my thing, but this is my thing. Delicious. Well, since I have the Greek yogurt out, I'm gonna go ahead and throw together another high protein snack. This one's for the kids and adults alike. It is a throwback to something I'm sure we all used to eat. Dunkaroo dip, but this one is high protein because of the Greek yogurt, because of the protein powder, but we're still gonna make it fun. So to a bowl, I'm going to add 2 cups of Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt really is the secret ingredient to adding protein into just about everything. All right, 2 cups, looking good. And then I'm gonna do 1 scoop of vanilla protein powder. This is Macro Friendly Foods. My husband, for what it's worth, says that he likes this one more than any other protein powder that I've bought when he drinks it. I don't drink it, so I can't tell you, but I do make a lot of sweets with it and it is delicious. I'm gonna add a little bit of powdered sugar or any sweetener of your choice. Probably added too much, but whatever. I'm gonna mix that all together and voila. Hold on though, I'm gonna make it fancy. I'm gonna bring all the kids to my yard. I just tried some of this. It is actually delicious, and coming from someone, again, who doesn't like plain Greek yogurt, it's a no for me. So I bought these containers. I saw them, I'm sure you've seen them all over the interwebs. They really are cool and versatile. I pack apples and peanut butter almost every day for my son's camp. But of course you can pack whatever the heck you want. This seems to be the perfect amount for 7. Maybe if you spread it out, you can do 8. But lucky for me, I think 1 container is in the wash. All right, here's the fun part of this Dunkaroo dip. You just sprinkle it with a couple of sprinkles. That's how you get the kids to enjoy anything. Broccoli, add sprinkles. And then of course they need something to dip, so I'm going to throw in the Annie's like graham cracker bunnies, but you can do whatever you like, and I'm just gonna give a little handful to each. This was such a fun treat. I would love having these, especially for the beginning of next school year. I am hoping to gather a bunch of different recipes or, you know, just simple things like this to make for them and throw in these containers. I adore these containers. I know they're like newer, making their way around the internet, but I really do like them. I like how they stack so it's easy storage in the fridge. You can just throw it all in there at once and it doesn't take up a load of space. And it's really convenient. Like, you know, the possibilities are endless with what you pack in there. And this specifically, my kids really enjoyed it. It tasted delicious. I can't remember what the original Dunkaroo tastes like. I feel like maybe obviously it was a little bit thicker, but definitely not as healthy. So I love having this as an option. The Dunkaroos are a hit with my kids already. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna throw together. The life and time of Junie B. So the next thing I'm gonna throw together are some frozen chocolate protein shakes. I think this will be so nice for the kids when they wake up in the morning. They can just pull one out of the freezer, gulp it down, and go on about their merry day. It starts, it's only 3 ingredients, by the way. Amazing. It starts off with this Fairlife milk, and I got the chocolate milk. One thing about this has more protein. This is 13 grams of protein per cup and less than 50% sugar, 50% more protein. You guys, all the goodness is happening in this milk. I'm gonna do 3 cups of this. 1, 2, 3, just eyeball it. And then I'm going to add 2 scoops of the chocolate protein powder. It's the same brand. This is actually what Alex drinks every day. 2 scoops of that. And then to round off the shake business, I have ice. Everyone's got ice, hopefully, maybe. I don't know. If you do 2 cups of this, throwing this in. And then blend it up. Okay, this looks so creamy. I'm not a fan of like smoothies or chocolate shakes or anything, but I might have a little sippy sip of this just to try it out, you know. I got these bottles. Ooh, it might be too thick. Do I need a funnel? Will I figure it out? Yeah, well, I didn't leave enough space in that one. So I am gonna throw them in the freezer. I'll just have the kids drink it right now. But the recipe says to leave it in the freezer. I assume because there's like ice in it, you know? So I'm gonna leave a little space on top so it has room to expand, but you can leave it in the freezer for up to a week. This is such a great little hack to have something ready and delicious for the kids to eat. And you know, sometimes my kids just eat this as a snack too. So actually there's one more bottle that comes in this pack, and there's enough in here for one more bottle. So I'm just gonna put it into a cup. But man, these bottles are great. I usually put my green juices in them. And I know it's not ideal to keep green juice in the fridge, but I do it just for a couple of days and it works out really nicely. All right, I'm gonna take a little taste test. Oh wow, I mean, how can that be bad, right? It's like great protein powder and chocolate milk. I'm not a fan of milk or chocolate milk, but this I could eat / drink. Hey, word of advice, I kept this in the freezer like instructed, and maybe don't do that because it lost its fluff. So I don't know if this is necessarily a meal prep recipe or drink it right away, or before you drink it, throw it back into the blender, which kind of defeats the purpose of prepping it. I shook it a bunch and it was fine and it was delicious, but it did lose some of its volume. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. This next recipe is cheesy chicken and rice casserole, the perfect dinner to have on hand. But even if you don't have it on hand ready and to go, you can prep it in a matter of like 5 minutes. Is this not going to stick to the wood? And it is a true like all-included meal. There is nothing that you have to bake separately than this, and those are my favorite meals. I am shredding up 2 cups of cheese. You know, I always like to shred my own cheese. Oh my gosh, it always gets stuck every single time. I hate this machine. That's 2 cups, good enough for me. Okay, so I hate this thing. To the 2 cups of cheese, let me shred the last little bit here. I'm actually gonna push that aside. To the casserole dish, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of rice. You know, I always like to rinse my rice. They say it makes it fluffier, but I literally never rinse my rice. And it turns out fine every time, but I thought, you know what? Let's follow this recipe to a T. To the rice, I'm going to add some chicken stock. 2.5 cups of this. Oh, I guess I should mix the rice together. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to place some chicken in here. I've got 2 juicy looking breasts. Talking about dinner, mine aren't juicy at all. And then 2 little thighs. Shove that in, perfect. Then I'm gonna throw in 2 cups of frozen vegetables. Hey, I always say the more the merrier. And then on top of this, I'm gonna add some seasonings. So I've got like some seasoning salt here. This is a blend my friend Ashley sent me, and it's really delicious. Throwing some of that in. I like to go heavy on the seasonings. Yeah, don't worry, we'll mix it all in. And then a little bit of Italian seasoning, and then I'll do like a little bit of salt. Actually, I meant to only do pepper, but I'm gonna mix all of this together, and then I'm just gonna dot it with some butter. Maybe like 1 pat on each breast. I'm gonna cover it with foil, cook it at 400 for about 40 minutes, and then I'm gonna top it with the cheese. This came out of the oven. Man, I should actually put these on because my fingers always slip in between and touch it. It is scorching hot. Ooh, this smells really great. It might not look that great, but don't worry. If you top it with cheese, you're never gonna see the imperfections. Holy cow. Why is this so good, but so dang easy? I haven't even eaten it yet, but the way that it smells, you can just tell. I'm gonna top it with some cheese and then throw it back into the oven and have it cook for like, oh gosh, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes until everything's nice and bubbly. Perfect. Oh dang, that's good. For how easy this is to throw together, minimal ingredients, and it was packed with flavor, and it's everything in one dish. It's not like some of the crock-pot meals that you make or that I make, and it's just cooking the meat and then you have to like cook a vegetable alongside of it, whatever. This has it all and packed full of flavor. It was absolutely delicious. Wait. I pulled out the heavy whipping cream. I think that was in this recipe. Did I forget? Cream. Yeah, I'm gonna add this 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Whoops, fine, it barely got cooking. Okay, 1 cup of this. I'm just gonna do it around. Perfect. Ooh, that's gonna make it so creamy and dreamy. Amazing. It's like nothing ever happened. back in the oven. Since I have the oven on, I am going to throw together another dinner. It's another easy one. Did I tell you what it is yet? Hawaiian chicken sheet pan. I mean, you can call it anything that you want, but it's essentially just some veggies and any kind of protein you want. Throw it on a sheet pan with some delicious flavor. And that's what I love about sheet pan meals. You just chop it and pop it into the oven, and it basically makes itself. I have one red bell pepper and one orange bell pepper. I'm just gonna chunk this up, not too small because the chicken is gonna take a little bit of time to cook, so we don't want the veggies to like turn to complete mush, okay? I was going to do a yellow bell pepper, but the pineapple, which is what I'm also going to throw on there, is yellow. So I thought I'd switch it up a little bit, but that's my favorite color of bell pepper is the yellow. What's your favorite? Okay, so I've got those chopped up, and then I'm going to cut up a red onion. I'm gonna keep the root on, and then I'm just gonna cut it into wedges. And this is such a big onion, I think I'm just gonna use half of an onion, but the root helps it stay together while it's cooking. Oh, I'm gonna take the outer layer off. This just gives the dish a lot of flavor. All right, that's good. Now I'm gonna cut the pineapple. I meant to juice this the other day, but I didn't get to it, so I actually don't know if it's bad. Ooh, that looks good, but like that doesn't look so good. So we'll see what it looks like on the inside. Ooh, that's so good. It's okay, we'll just cut it off, no big deal. Ooh, not so good. It's okay, I only really need half of it anyway. So I'm gonna chop it like so, and then just use the good half. All right, that works for me. And then I'm gonna cut the core out. I just cut it, you know, and then I'm going to cut it into chunks. I love pineapple. I'm not a super huge fan of cooked pineapple. I mean, listen, I say that, but I like it on pizza. Do you like it on pizza? I haven't had it grilled, but I know a lot of people rave about that too. So I feel like in the oven, it should be similar, and we're about to find out. Okay, I've got some chicken thighs back here that I'm just gonna start cutting into bite-sized pieces. And I like to use chicken thighs with everything. Crock pot meals, if I'm cooking on the stove, if I'm throwing it in the oven, if I'm grilling with it, I just find that it stays nice and juicy. It's very hard to overcook, and it's delicious. Everything's all chopped up. I'm gonna work on the sauce. I'm actually gonna throw some pasta in first. For some pasta salad I'm gonna make. Ow! Perfect. So let me know if that starts to boil over or whatever. But for the sauce, I'm going to start it out with some soy sauce. I use cocoa aminos, but I'm gonna do probably like half a cup. It calls for less, but I always like more sauce. I'm gonna throw in a little bit of garlic. You can use garlic paste. I always like to have that in my fridge, but I'm fresh out. Along with some ginger, which I also love to have in my fridge. I need to go grocery shopping for real. Little of this goes a long way. Ooh, a little too much of that, it's in my nostrils. About a quarter cup of brown sugar. And then it calls for pineapple juice because it calls for canned pineapple, but I'm doing fresh. So instead, I'm just gonna add a little bit of chicken stock. Give this a little mix. And I'm gonna toss my chicken thighs in here to coat. Wow. And then, oh, I forgot something pretty on brand for me. 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I was just gonna try to put it into the side of the bowl to mix it in. Whatever, it will be fine. I'll just thicken up the sauce. And then I'm gonna go ahead and toss in my veggies and fruit too, just to get everything nice and evenly coated. I feel like you could skewer this and it would be delicious on the grill, but I'm just gonna throw it in my oven since it's already on. I'm just gonna put my wedges in the middle so that when I plop everything on, maybe it'll get a little bit of sauce on them, but I don't wanna mix them up and then they'll like fall apart a little bit. I'm gonna dump everything onto the sheet pan. This is a larger sheet pan. I have a big family, so I feel like this is the best thing I've ever bought. It's like 15 inches by 21 inches, and let me tell you, I use them to death. So I'm just gonna spread everything out so it cooks nice and evenly. And then I'm gonna shove it in the oven. I've got it at 400 degrees. I don't know, about 20 minutes or so.
Another absolute hit. I did cook it for longer than 20 minutes. I just kept an eye on it until things started looking nice and golden, maybe 30 minutes. But it was so good and packed full of flavor. I would make this again. It was a hit.
It smells so dang good in here. I can't tell which recipe it is. And you know what? With my Invisalign, I can never tell if my noodles are done. So I kind of just guess. I feel like that's pretty good. I'm gonna drain these real quick. I smell those peppers cooking and they smell absolutely amazing. I'm gonna let that pasta cool while I work on the next thing I'm gonna throw together. Oh, this was cleaned before it was put away. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is protein pudding. You've had protein before, you've had pudding, but have you had protein pudding? Never heard of it, okay? So I'm gonna whip it up. All you need is some pudding mix. I'm using vanilla. You can use chocolate and then chocolate milk alongside of it. But I figured since I already made something chocolate, I might as well make something vanilla. So I'm using the family size 5.1 ounce container. And then I'm just following the directions. Where are the instructions? Okay, no wait. Oh, listen, the font on here is so small and it has different recipes on here. This is for sprinkled pudding cookies and fluffy pudding frosting. No, I just want like normal pudding. 3 cups of milk. Okay, so I have the Fairlife milk, but this is the like normal, it's actually not normal, it's the reduced fat kind, but 3 cups of this. There's my measuring cup, perfect. I'm actually unsure if this is going to make a good pudding because it's not like normal milk. We're about to find out. We're gonna do this experiment together. I know in my experience, almond milk does not make a delicious pudding. Maybe if you use like half as much liquid, I don't know, maybe I did it wrong, but I remember like 15 years ago, I was like, yeah, no. Ooh, it's not even plugged in. All right, let it whip. And then to the pudding, once it's nice and thickened up, I'm going to add 1 whole container of Cool Whip. This is the 0 sugar variety. If you ask me, I think it tastes exactly the same. It's so good. I got it all over my nose. And I just let it thaw out, but this will give it like a nice whipped creamy texture that I think the kids will really enjoy. Mix that in. Perfect. It's actually better if you fold it in. And then I have these jars that I bought a while ago. I thought I was gonna be really into like overnight oats or chia seed pudding. Yeah, it turns out I'm not. And there's actually 6 jars, but I didn't think this would yield enough for 6, but you know what? It just might. There's actually a ton in there. I'm just gonna try to dollop some of this in each one. I don't know the correct portion size.
These were fantastic. How could they be bad? It's obviously pudding. You just add a little bit of protein powder in there. And for me, I feel like it adds a little bit more flavor. And it's just easy swaps like this by buying like Fairlife milk that already has extra protein in it. It's just a simple, easy swap to get, you know, something slightly healthier into your body or your kids' bodies. And I love these meal prep containers, but one already broke. It's so sad. And this is why I don't buy glass. Try as I may to be like, you know, take that step to make it that much healthier. But then I'm like, if they break, it's no good.
So for the pasta salad, this is, I mean, I love pasta salad. It's perfect for summertime. What in the heck is happening here? A little baby artichoke, if you will. Man, I love the flavor of an artichoke. It's just so delicious. So this is lemon artichoke pasta salad. And I did think about adding like a protein to this, whether it was chicken or even chickpeas. So I might do that, I don't know, I'm still undecided, but the first thing I'm going to do is prep a couple of things. I just have a jar of artichokes. I'm just going to chop them up, give them a nice dice. Ooh, these are nice and tender. These are probably like the nicest artichokes I think I've ever had. This one is like minimal effort pasta salad, which I feel like most pasta salads are. And I recently did a whole video of like new pasta salad recipes if you want to check that out and get some more pasta salad inspiration. I don't know how many times I can say pasta salad in a matter of 30 seconds, but here we are working on this pasta salad. I think I need a bowl. What's great about this recipe is the dressing we're gonna throw together. Let me get a bowl. I've been cooling the pasta in the fridge. I'm just gonna dump it into a bowl. I also rinsed it just to let it cool down even quicker. You're kind of not supposed to do that because you wanna keep the starches in there so the dressing has something to stick to, but I don't care. I like to do it that way, and I don't really think it makes a huge difference. I'm gonna throw the artichokes in here, along with some freshly grated Parmesan. Just gonna do like a handful of that. It's gonna give a nice nutty flavor. And then I have arugula, and I'm gonna do a handful of this too. Man, if there's something that I love, it is arugula. I'm actually gonna do a little bit more of this. Yeah.
And just that alone looks delicious. Like, doesn't this just feel elevated? Anything with arugula is fancy. I don't care what you say.
But I'm gonna fancy it up a little bit more with the zest of a lemon. You guys know what I say. Fresh herbs, fresh citrus always elevate a dish. And I'm gonna get the zest of this entire lemon in here.
It adds a nice brightness in there. Now I'm gonna work on the dressing.
Any good dressing starts out with some Dijon. I'm gonna try to get a tablespoon out of here. It's on its last leg here. Okay, I had to open a fresh one, even though I probably had a tablespoon in there, but it's fine. I'm also going to add a couple seasonings to this. I've got garlic powder. You can use fresh, obviously, if you have it. Let's do half a cup of red wine vinegar, and then, you know, about the same amount of olive oil. That's good. Very basic dressing. I'm gonna go ahead and add some of that, why not? I'm also gonna grab up the last bit of basil that I had on my basil plant before it completely dies on me. I'm just gonna give this a little chippity chop. This is a sad amount of basil. I'll have you know, I tried really hard to keep this alive. Didn't work. I think I overdid it, like I overwatered it. All right, I'm gonna give this a whisk and then dump it over the goods. Oh, crud, you know what I'm missing? The juice of half of a lemon. Ooh, what is on that? And I'm actually going to add the whole lemon, because what the heck else am I gonna do with it? Ooh, yeah. Honestly, not the best lemon I've ever seen. I had a spoon somewhere. All right, I'm just gonna give this a toss and then let it sit in the fridge until I'm ready to serve it or ready to eat.
This would be the perfect summer lunch for me. Just like grab, go, open the fridge, keep a fork in there, and just take a couple of bites while I'm looking for something else to eat.
It's no secret I like my treats. So this next little treat I'm gonna put together is like a take on the fruit pizza that I'm sure you've seen. I'm taking a shortcut and using store-bought sugar cookie dough, but you can make your own sugar cookie dough if you really want to. Oh my goodness! Cookie dough hates to see me coming. If I didn't have my trays in right now, I would eat this. I'd probably eat 4 of them. Apparently, you take one of these little cookie dough squares, cut it in half, roll it into a ball, pop it in there, and that's gonna cook. And then it'll, like, you know, expand. That's my hope. I haven't read the directions. I'm just assuming. All right, and when they come out of the oven, we're gonna fill it up and top it with some really great stuff. But for now, it doesn't get any easier than this. Just split it in half, roll it into a ball, pop it in the pan. This would be great for barbecues. It's one of those treats where you don't need to get like a plate and a fork and a napkin and all that stuff. You just pick it up and you go. You know what? It would be a great appetizer too. And a great little summer treat. I like to have the fridge stocked with these. That way when I open it and I'm not sure what I'm gonna eat, I'll just eat one while I'm making the decision in my head.
I actually have decided I am going to press these down into the pan a little bit, but not much. Like, I'm not gonna completely flatten them out. I'm just gonna give them a little press. And then I'm gonna throw this into the oven, 350 degrees for about 10 minutes.
This step actually happens pretty much on its own. See how it's like sinking down? I'm gonna take the vanilla extract bottle, kind of just press into it a little bit, so I have a spot to put my filling and fruit and all that good stuff. But I don't know if this is necessary, because it's kind of caving in already anyway. I feel like I'm ruining it, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel like I'm just crushing it. I'm barely tapping it, I'll have you know. Okay, let's cross our fingers that we're able to get these suckers out once they cool. The next cereal is a nice little snack. Hey, do you guys remember Kudos Bars? Where did those go? Do they still sell them? I don't even know, but we're gonna make a homemade version of it. Okay, let me grab a bowl. Okay, cool. Let's get this thing started. I'm so hungry. My Invisalign, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it's ruining my life. So this starts out with half a cup of peanut butter. Yep, a heaping half looks good to me. So I'm just gonna pop that in a bowl, along with half a cup of honey. And recently I heard someone on Instagram say that their favorite peanut butter was Peter Pan peanut butter. Do you know how many forms of peanut butter exist? And to have Peter Pan, are you sure about that? But then I was like, you know what, maybe I'm missing out. It's been several years since I tried Peter Pan. Maybe I need to give it another shot. Maybe it is the best. Is it your favorite? Because I always thought Jif is where it's at. And there is a difference, you can taste it. So next time I go to the store, I'm gonna pick up some Peter Pan peanut butter, give it a good old taste test. I'll do a blind taste test too, see which one is superior. Okay, mixing these two things together. It said to throw it in the microwave and mix it. I don't know if that's necessary, but okay. I don't know how long, 30 seconds, a minute, I don't know. The instructions are extremely vague. Only a few ingredients in this, but it does call for some rice cereal, which I had to buy some for this recipe. I'm not mad about it. My kids love this cereal. It's like the perfect summertime treat. My daughter calls it fish food, and I'm like, yep, rolling with it, because one day she's not gonna call it fish food, and that will be sad. Ooh, look at that, nice and sloppy. I know how you like it. Extra sloppy. In that movie, okay? That's a great summertime movie night. I'm going to add half a cup of brown sugar. I'm gonna mix that in. A little interesting with the brown sugar. Okay, this looks nice and smooth. So now I'm going to add 1 cup of oats. I don't have quick cooking oats. I've completely run out of them. And actually, you know what? I had those like 5-gallon food safe bins. You guys, I got to the bottom of my oat container, mold, like 2 inches thick of oats and mold. It's so bad. I'm like, what? And it's sealed. And I thought I did everything right. Turns out I didn't. Oh, crud. I forgot to add vanilla to the like liquid mixture, if you will. So I'm just gonna add it now. Ooh, that's fantastic. I'm almost out of vanilla. 2.5 cups of the rice cereal. 1 and a 2. Good. Give this a mix too. I thought about adding collagen powder to this. I feel like that would be a really great addition. Along with some coconut flakes and really whatever the heck else you want to add. I'm gonna add some mini chocolate chips and some mini M&Ms too. This just brightens everything up. I'm pretty sure Kudos must have been like an M&M's brand or something. I'm gonna mix those in. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm gonna dump it into a dish over here. And then flatten it out. I'm gonna let it cool in the fridge. Ooh, it was too hot. See, all those chocolate chips melted a little bit. I'm gonna pour some more on the top just for fun. And then I'll cut them into bars once they cool completely.
These are fantastic. I don't know if when the last time you had a Kudos bar was. They are discontinued, so sad to report, you won't be able to try them. If you really want to make it look like a Kudos bar, grab some chocolate drizzle, like melted chocolate, and drizzle it over top of it, and that would be peak perfection. But these, how they were delicious. You could also replace the brown sugar with like some kind of honey. This was the candle I got. Love it. Smells like my childhood.
This next recipe is one that I've seen for years and years, but I think it's been a long time since I made it. Like 15 years, maybe less, because I made it for like my first 2 kids, maybe 10 years. Anyway, it's like homemade fruit roll-ups. And I'm just taking 3 cups of strawberries, so probably like 2 of these containers. I washed them, don't worry. And I'm just cutting the tops off of them and throwing them into a blender, and I'm gonna blend it up with a couple more ingredients. But it's really simple. It does take some time in the oven, so because you cook it at such a low temperature, you're basically like dehydrating it. So if you have a dehydrator, you can make this in there too, but everyone has an oven, so you can just set it to a really low temperature. It's like 170 degrees or something, and you can make your own fruit roll-ups for the kiddos. My kids really like these. I usually, you know, buy them from the store. That's It brand from Costco. I find those are really good. And then the Bear ones, they're not really roll-ups. They're more of like there's like a string kind. I don't know. They have different kinds and different varieties. The strips as well. So this is just a homemade version. And I have some strawberries that, you know, need to get used up. I should also mention, you could do this with any fruit. I almost did this with cherries. I have a bunch of frozen cherries I want to make some jam out of. But if it is frozen, just make sure you thaw it out before you start the process. All right, I've got them all in there. Now I'm just gonna blend it up with 3 tablespoons of honey, a 1, a 2, a 3. That's just gonna sweeten it up a little bit. And I had that one lemon left over, so I'm going to use half of the juice of this. I think this is just gonna help keep its color. Yep, that looks good. Oh goodness, it smells great too. Throw it in a blender. Oh my gosh, how rude of me. I started it without showing you. Just making an observation here, okay? The gal who I saw made this, hers, by the way, tastes delicious. Why wouldn't it? It's like strawberries, you know? Hers was so dang thick, it looked like a paste. So, what do I do here? Okay, if you don't have duplicate pans, like this is so time intensive. Oh! Ooh! They're not coming out. No? See if that worked. Any? No? Okay, cool, 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 cool. Yeah, I don't think these are gonna come out very well. No, they're stuck in there pretty good. I got one. Yeah, okay, word of advice. Okay, just a little bit of advice. Do the whole cookie. Do the whole cookie. Don't cut it in half. Don't cut it in half. This is not a sufficient amount of cookie. I'm just saying. They're crumbling. They're not coming out of the pan because they're too delicate. They're too thin. They're too fragile. Oh boy. Oh, I don't have enough finesse for this. This is not it. It's not. Do the whole cookie. The whole cookie might be too much. I don't even know. Like, what is this? What is this? Just make a cookie cake. I don't know. Oh my gosh, it completely fell apart. Ugh.
By the way, I never ended up making the rest of the strawberry stuff. It was so liquidy. I don't know. I have it in my fridge, so I should just pour it on a sheet pan. The other thing is you have to cook it in the oven for like, I don't know, 6 hours. And I haven't had a stretch of time where I've been able to like, okay, well, in 6 hours, I will be home for the next 6 hours. You know what I mean? So unless it's at nighttime, and then I'm like, well, I fall asleep, whatever. So hopefully that gets put in the oven, and then you just roll it up and cut it into strips. So simple.
Okay, I'm actually really getting frustrated and disappointed on how this is turning out. It's just crumbly. It makes me not even want to finish the recipe. Oh, but I will. And I actually think I'm gonna make the rest of these, but like obviously not like this. It just needs more. It's too thin. Like come on. I almost think scooping them out like that is doing a better job. I'm gonna fill these up too, don't worry. I'm gonna throw together the icing. I need 4 ounces of cream cheese. And if I still have my mixer out, I'd mix it with that, but I don't, so I'm gonna whisk this until it's lump free. I'm gonna add 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, along with a couple tablespoons of sour cream. I've never in my life had sour cream in an icing, but well, here we are. Okay, I feel like that's good enough. And then 1 cup of the whipped cream, Cool Whip, whatever you wanna call this. And then mix this together. I would say if you're making a lot of these, like double that recipe. And you have enough to double it, like you have the rest of the block, you have the rest of the container. You know what I mean? Double it. That's my suggestion to you. But I am going to dollop it on here. How am I gonna do this? Am I gonna do the old Ziploc bag trick? I guess I'm gonna do a makeshift piping bag. Do I hear thunder? Oh boy, of course it's thunder. And you just snip a little tip off of that and then fill them right up. Ooh, so cute.
These were really cute and very impressive on a tray. They look really delightful, nice to serve at a party or get together, whatever. And they were good too.
You would barely even know the shells of these look miserable, right? I mean, you can still kind of see them. It's fine. And then on top of it, I just cut up some kiwi and raspberry.
You can cut up whatever kind of fruit that you like, but it's all about presentation. And I felt like the kiwi would be a nice pop of color. You can do strawberries or anything like that. It's essentially like a cookie cake, or wait, what do they call that? It's a fruit pizza, I think is what I've seen it called. like on Pinterest or even Instagram, whatever. So this is just a mini version of it. Honestly, I feel like instead of peeling these things out of the tray, unless you have a silicone tray where it's easy to like pop them out from the bottom, which I have a very large one, like a muffin pan one, like mini loaves, but I don't have cupcake ones. Maybe I'll have to invest in those. But aside from the looks and like how challenging they were to get out of the pan, they were good. And I even cooked the whole sugar cookie ball, and that worked out really well. I just twisted them. I didn't film any of it, but I twisted them and they came out pretty easily. And it's just a nice little treat. But otherwise, you can like make a big like pizza looking pan from it. You know what I mean? So anyway, I moved on to like chopping up some veggies. Actually, Wentworth chopped up probably half of these. And I love getting the kids involved in the kitchen and kind of teaching them. But this is the pool dip. It was absolutely delicious and one of my favorites, and just like something nice and quick and easy and refreshing to munch on. Oh, I did get a clip of this was the whole sugar cookie. So if you like, I just kind of press down on it and twist it and it releases right away from the pan. Look how easy that was. And nothing is crumbled, nothing is crunched up. It's great. But that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out. I hope I gave you some really simple meal prep ideas or recipes that you want to enjoy during the week. And if you want to, stick around, subscribe, put a little happy in your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.